Take that.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It is Tuesday. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly. The panel are assembled. We have a great show for you. We're going to take a look back at Saturday night's main event. We're going to be doing a quick review of Raw. We're going to be talking, of course, Royal Rumble. We have about in our history section, and we have a slide on it. We're going to be talking about assembling our Raw. Was sent in to us yesterday. I think it was Keith or someone sent it in, and we're going to be taking a look as well. We are going to be talking about the Rumble in itself as well. We're going to be talking about AJ Styles' retirement and how we feel about that. And there's been a lot of talk about him mentioning constantly WWE career coming to an end, not necessarily the rest of his career. So let's see what that is. And we're going to round it out with Unreal. We did have a slide also about greatest tag teams. Keith asked me to include it. But I think, Keith, I'm going to bump it to next week's show because I don't think we'll have enough time to do it justice. But I do have a slide for us, so just remind me next week and we will go through. It's a real good topic, and it's a super slide that you sent on to me as well. But before we start the show, something a little bit... where am I now? Where is this? I can't seem to... I'm going to have to pop that up a little bit bigger for the moment so I can get at it. I don't want to start. First of all, I want to start obviously in the show. Two items. First of all, very sad news. Mick Foley's mother passed away. Had a bit of a long battle with dementia and stuff like that. So obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to Mick Foley and his family and everyone else and all that kind of stuff. But also a little bit closer to home, especially for you, Bren, out in Finglas, one Grace Lynch, who sadly passed away at the age of 16 in that scrambler incident, stuff like that. And we're not going to talk about it too much except to send our thoughts and prayers to her family as well, and her mother Siobhan, who was on that march last night as well and stuff. Very, very sad, and it's close to home, and especially for me and you, Bren, who are both parents and have kids. It really hits home at times how lucky we are. I don't know if you want to say anything else about it because you're obviously closer to it. It's on your doorstep more so than mine, you know.
Yeah, I think the main thing for us, for myself, and actually anybody that like anybody with siblings and so on, it's such a hard loss, and you can feel it. Like I didn't know them personally, but you can feel the community coming together for the family. But very very sad, and obviously like that, it's unimaginable, and my heart and soul goes out to them obviously. So
Yeah,
definitely
such a beautiful
appreciate
young
this
girl
side.
with her. Yeah, such a
Absolutely.
beautiful young girl with her life all ahead of her at the age of 16 and stuff, to be tragic like and like that. I can't imagine what her parents are going through. So, but we do know that the person involved has been charged, and obviously it'll go through all the legal stuff and things like that. So we won't get into any of that at this stage. That's for sure. Right, so let's go back and let's start off Saturday night's main event. Bren, kick us off. Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night main event was, how are you, Barry? Good to see you, man. Saturday night's main event was everything. I'd say it's not a pay per view, but I think some people consider it a pay per view or would call it that. And but you often get corrected. But it was everything and a lot more. It exceeded my expectations. Everybody on the card was absolutely stellar. Obviously, I was over the moon with the results. Phenomenal. I just start to finish, brilliant card. And that moment of the night for me was Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles in the ring after the match, and they basically did exactly what they did in a previous company before, shown that level of respect. We Wrestling to me is about, I don't want to say it's not viral moments, but it's about moments like that, precious moments like that, where we feel it. And I really, really felt that. Look, I loved it. No notes from me in that it was just stellar from start to finish. And I just, when you're watching it, it just made me realize, not realize, sometimes we forget in all of the criticism how beautiful and how amazing the wrestling is. And it was such a brilliant reminder. And I have to say, I liked Raw as well. We'll touch on Raw in a few minutes. But yeah, I thought everything was fantastic. And the standout moment for me, because I like that we have a packed show, was Styles and Shinsuke. And also Sami Zayn. I'm sorry to bring it up. I'm not trying to be a pain. I'm not trying to drop a grenade. Everybody was just phenomenal, and I'm delighted for Sami.
Cool.
Me too.
Emma, sometimes they get it right. This Saturday night's main event, since it came back, has been kind of indifferent. Sometimes it's been really, really good, and sometimes it's been really, really poor. But this one seemed to be probably one of their better ones since they've rebooted it, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, as we've seen, I think it was a couple months ago, we had one Saturday night main event and it was awful. I think everyone knows which one I'm on about. I'm not too sure, but I remember just watching it, and I actually remember us going onto the podcast and being like, lads, no thanks. You know what? We'll skip over that. You know what I mean? But this one was just perfect. I mean, there wasn't a point where I was sitting there like, oh, maybe I should just, go to bed or something, Like, it was insane. And then, of course, like, Shinsuke is one of my favorites. That moment in the ring, it was beautiful. And you could tell it meant something to them. And sometimes it's great that they break the barrier to show that it meant something to them. And the women's match was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The tag match, brilliant. You can see how well Liv Morgan and Roxanne do work together. Maybe something will happen down the line, who knows? But it's great to see them work together. You know what, lads? I say this every week, forget about the Judgment Day. They will be fine. They do not need the Judgment Day. Also, Drew McIntyre. That part was insane. I love that part.
Yes.
It was absolutely brilliant. And of course, I am so happy. Sami Zayn. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, everybody.
No.
Tough crowd. Tough crowd. All right, then.
It's bad enough
yeah.
I have two of that ahead of me this week.
Sorry.
Anyone else? Sean Mack, thoughts?
I agree with yourself, Nyla and Emma, when I say I think this is probably one of the better Saturday night main events that they've done since it came back. Now, I had this on a split screen with the UFC, so I didn't really feel like when I was watching it live, I had my attention fully towards it, so I watched it back the next day. And I honestly think, yeah, it was a really, really good show. I know some people were a little upset that Cody and Fatu never got started, and to be honest, never really ended if we're being official about it. But I think it would have hurt Cody to lose. It also would have hurt Jacob Fatu to lose. So I think having a no contest was a good thing. The women's tag match, I've made my feelings clear in the Judgment Day. Couldn't care less about them. Wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. Wouldn't watch them if they were in my garden. But I thought that this was a really good tag match. Well, this iteration of the Judgment Day. I like everyone.
We're going to be talking about the Judgment Day when we get to Raw, which reaffirms some of my points I made.
I like
on
everyone.
WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I like everyone in there on their own. I don't like them together in 2026. But I thought that was a really good match. AJ and Shinsuke, to be honest, when Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble in 2018, and when he announced his intention was to face AJ Styles, who was the WP champion at the time, this was the standard match that I was hoping we would have got. And instead, the best match in that weekend was Big Daddy Walter and Quebecer Pierre. I think this was a much better match. I think it was a really good match for AJ because he said 2026. That made us think it was going to be the end of the year. Alarmingly, it could be as soon as Saturday night. And Shinsuke, I feel, has been really underutilized since he's been on the main roster. I remember being so pumped to hear that he got signed, but I just think it's been one low after another. And the four-way look, I know not everyone on this panel has the same enthusiasm for Sami Zayn that myself and Emma do, but he's an incredibly hard worker. Obviously, well, just like the reason they booked Punk and Finn in Belfast, they need something for that crowd. Saudi winning is something for that crowd. And I think it was a great main event to a really good Saturday night's main event. And I hope that this is the standard Saturday night main event show that we get going forward. I think when it's as Brent said, not really a pay-per-view, more akin to like a TV special. It should be that. It should be special. It should be this standard. And I was very impressed with it this time.
Yeah, I think from a booking point of view, if you've got 3 or 4 matches, it's a lot more easier to kind of lay it out and control it and put that bit of quality out there. And if you're giving every match nearly half an hour, everyone has plenty of time to do what needs to be done, and you can lay it out real nice. And there's a more relaxed pressure to it than a PLE or a big event. Dave, I wanted to ask you about Shinsuke. I find Shinsuke, I'm a big fan of Shinsuke. I think he's excellent and stuff like that. And often people like what Sean says. He hasn't kind of been utilised in the way that we would expect and stuff like that. But I often find with these guys that come in, they're kind of a bit like Marmite. Either 50% of the audience loves them and gets them, and as previous fans from New Japan and all that kind of stuff and NXT and all, and the other 50% just don't really. He just doesn't really appeal to them. And it's not because he's any lesser of an athlete or a wrestler, stuff like that. It's just they just aren't into it. We've seen in the past years ago, people were huge fans of Tajiri, and loads of people were certainly not fans of Tajiri. Yeah. And it's a difficult way in terms of booking this and stuff like that. Give us your quick thoughts on Shinsuke.
I am a huge fan of Shinsuke, but I think if you speak about it from your point of view, I understand it. It's hard for Shinsuke to translate to an American audience. It's always been the case with Japanese talents. It's very difficult to translate to an American audience, whereas you have the Luchas who are Mexican, a lot closer to home. They much easily translate because they also have the population in the States and everything like that. It's very, very tough for a Japanese talent to translate. And one of the people that's done that very, very well is Asuka over the years. And she's done something that's been very, very hard. We look at Japanese talents in the past who have really struggled, even in AEW at the moment. You know, you have the likes of, you know, they're injured and that, and some of them are injured, but the ones that are there, they didn't really light it up because it doesn't translate to the sports entertainment side. If you're talking about the wrestling side, there's no question he's one of the best out there. But from a sports entertainment point of view, I thought they did well with the heel character. I was really excited for the heel character that they gave him. And then they just kind of took it away. And that was disappointing because I was getting into that character. I was like, okay, this could be Shinsuke's run now where we see him maybe hold an IC or a US title for a couple of months, hold a hostage against all these kind of up-and-coming like faces. But Shinsuke, I genuinely think he's been underutilized, as you said. And it's not so much from they didn't do it on purpose, you know, because the business is very much about merch selling. It's about getting over with the crowd. It's about having that backing from, he has it from his peers, but he doesn't have it from the crowd, from a merch point of view, from a business point of view. And unfortunately, with the WWE, it's a big business. And if you're not pulling the money in, you know,
but is that not sorry, Dave.
No, go on.
Is that not does a big blame of that not lie with creative? Because for me, I think they kind of ruined Shinsuke with a lot of the booking they did. That whole low blow thing that they did for a while, I can't really recall it. It was just really stupid. We know what he's capable of. He had the entrance, he had the wrestling skills, and the fans absolutely adored him. I don't think there's any question of the following that he had, but it definitely filtered out when they creatively sent him in a direction that they shouldn't have sent him in. My question to you, Dave, is: do you think that that's more down to creative, that they just don't know how to handle Japanese talent and book them correctly for the American audience?
Yeah, and the examples for that are there because when they put the rocket on Shinsuke, it's similar to what happened to Gunther. When they were going to put the rocket on Shinsuke, the momentum was there, and then they killed it, you know, and it took everything away from him. Same with Gunther when he lost to Jay at Mania. He's still feeling that. Crowds are still saying you tapped out. That kills a character in so many ways. Asuka, when she had the streak and it was broken, a lot of people weren't happy about how it was broken. So when you pissed the crowd off who's right behind someone, creative, when you piss the crowd off who's really behind someone and you get rid of, you know, the whole thing that was holding that momentum together and it's gone, they're on to the next one because what are we going to do now to kill them?
I think booking these talents as well that come in, say from New Japan, that are revered as nearly gods over there. I think when they come in, I think there's a complexity to getting it right. And I think the problem with creative in WWE, I don't think they have that dynamic in there to translate that Japanese situation into the American audience. And you can absolutely, but more often than not, what happens is it needs time to kind of marinate and become that kind of character. And I think the problem that they have with it is at times in creative in WWE, they're too reactionary, too quick. And what happens is they're trying to push it out there so quick, they're pushing it down a tunnel that's too narrow, and they can't get the full idea of what they're trying to get across and the character right out there into the audience. These guys are phenomenal athletes and girls, and phenomenal characters as well. But I think the dynamic of those characters needs us as fans to make a much bigger leap of investment into it in order to run with it. Because you could see when you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's a very, very different viewing experience, even as a fan, compared to when you're
100%.
watching WWE or AEW or whatever it is. It's a real, and you can see it even in the audience when you look at the Wrestle Kingdoms and stuff like that and all.
Yeah.
They're very, very quiet and very, very honorable in the way that they do things and how things are presented.
There's an
education.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a cultural education there.
There's definitely a cultural respect in Japan, because when I watch it, there's an esteem about it. There's a level that they hold and a standard that they hold.
Yeah.
And it's very traditional. When you bring a talent into WWE and all of a sudden you're asking them to cut these promos in a language that they may not be 100% fluent in, that's not easy either. Like, the complete package doesn't just come together in an environment like WWE or other promotions in the States. So to get it right, you have to be very careful.
I think if you look at Asuka, who generally
they got it right. They got it right.
But I think with Asuka, what they did was, and it doesn't work for everyone, obviously, they've kind of created Asuka as nearly this anime, cartoon, crossover, lucha, nearly kind of character. So like when she goes into different audiences around the States and around the world, you can look at it nearly like that Rey Mysterio feel. Rey Mysterio doesn't necessarily have to be wrestling in San Diego. There's a mystique to it. There's a mystery to it that we all kind of, we buy into, and we go, okay, so what's
the difference between Shinsuke, Kota Ibushi, all of these guys in AEW and Asuka? What's the biggest difference you see, and the similarity you have with the likes of Rey Mysterio and Asuka?
Well, the colors. But not only that, but the difference is they've stuck with the Asuka development. Stage by stage. With Shinsuke, there's been an awful lot of stop-start, because what happens is he was outstanding in NXT, an absolute superstar. And again, it was one of those ones that they rolled it out onto SmackDown or whatever it was, and they expected the fury of that to happen. And what they forget is that sometimes even within the SmackDown audience, they're not necessarily NXT fans either, even within the same company. And we've seen it. Like, we've seen how good the Ascension were down in NXT in the early days.
Unbelievable.
They rolled them out onto SmackDown and they died on that hill so quick.
The NXT crowd is such an indie crowd, though.
Yeah.
I think that's the almost like the victims of their own success, because the crowd in NXT went down there because they wanted to see something a bit more personal. Like, you're right on top of the ring. The talent is so new and fresh. They're not
you're part of the show.
Their head, and exactly. You feel a lot more closer to it. They have that indie crowd. And with SmackDown, you're buying the ticket for you and your two kids, and you're going, you want to watch a show. There's a difference between, that's the biggest difference between NXT and SmackDown is, with NXT you're going to be part of it. With SmackDown, you go to experience it. I think that's the biggest difference in the translation, and a lot of superstars have gotten lost over the years through that. You look at Neville, how good he was in NXT and how absolutely loved he was, and he ended up lower mid-card because sometimes it just doesn't translate to that crowd.
But I think also sometimes that's the individual's fault as well. I don't think Neville was ever going to be main event. Never. He was destined for mid-card.
No,
it's the same with the likes of Cesaro and all that. These guys, I don't buy it. They are destined for mid-card. They're mid-card mafia. And
but the company needs a mid-card.
That's a brilliant lead-in, Brent, because I'm going to be talking about that topic very much so when we get to AJ Styles' retirement. Because I have a theory about AJ Styles and stuff like that now, and you've led into it nicely, so we will come back to it. Keith, any further thoughts on main event?
I was actually happy with all of it, to be honest with you, bar the Sammy winning it. I thought I should have been Randy Orton, personally.
That's okay. That's a valid point.
Absolutely.
I just thought it would have been a bigger match, to be quite honest with you, than having Sammy win. But
Keith, they lost that story. They lost the story when they changed the belt to Drew. The story was always, in my opinion, would have been perfect for Cody and Randy. That story's not there, and as a result, if it's not there, I would have been okay if Randy won, but I think Sammy deserved it more. Just my opinion.
So you both have your choices. It's not a debate. Keith wanted Randy to win. You wanted Sammy to win.
I'm right, and he's wrong.
What I loved about Saturday night's main event was how they, although Drew wasn't wrestling, they still booked them very, very strong as a heel champ. That's what I love about it.
Did you notice something about Drew as well? Like, no one's complaining about Drew not defending the belt.
Well, he only won it recently.
Still a big part of the show.
Yeah,
he's still there. he's still wrestling in the show. You know, he may
Well.
not be defending the title. You know, you can't do it every
But also
week on Raw.
he's not injuring anybody. He's a good wrestler. He puts on a good match. So if the reference is towards Jade,
That wasn't the reference.
sorry. Okay.
The reference was sometimes we talk about people not defending the belt and stuff.
And to be
I'm
fair,
not talking
to
about Jade.
give Punk his due, like I do think Punk is on the way out, but to give him his due, at least he does defend the title.
Gonna give Emma a heart attack.
Sorry.
Truth hurts.
Right. Let's get into Raw.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dave. You take it off then.
I will happily. I think this was one of the best booked Raws in a while. We've had a lot of good SmackDowns, and this one for me, I enjoyed this from start to finish. And I'll tell you why, because it was structured really, really well. I thought opening with the promo from AJ and setting up the main event, I haven't seen a Raw start like that in a while. And it was just a throwback to the mid 2010s when they used to open Raw with a promo, get the main event set up, then you had everyone knowing what the main event was at the start of the show. They're buzzing for it at the end, and every match in between was a build-up. The whole exchange between the way Adam Pearce flipped Braun Breaker's script on him as well was genius. He goes, "Okay, you're in the Rumble, and you're in the Rumble, and you're in the Rumble, and you're in the Rumble." And I thought, nah, this is fantastic. Whatever chemistry he has with that Vision, it just sells me every week. I love it. I was delighted Alpha Academy won purely for just to see Keith's reaction, obviously. I understand they have to have a number one contender. They threw in 4 tag teams. And you know what? I'm actually delighted for them. I think they've been there so long. Just to give them a little bit of a rub, make them feel a little bit relevant. I'm happy for it. You know, there was 4 teams in there. Didn't bother me who won that one because, to be honest, it could have been a no contest. I still would have been happy. But just to see Otis throw those clotheslines was very, very pleasing.
That match to me was the absolute definition of how much they care about tag team wrestling in the company.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's not that I disliked the match. And it wasn't that I had a massive fear that the Creed brothers were going to win.
Yeah, you did.
But I said it last week, didn't I? That these are the guys who were supposed to be nailed off this. And I looked at it at times as well. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your deal with the Creed brothers, though?
They hadn't been saying on TV since July.
7 months or something like that.
July,
July,
yeah. 7 months.
To be fair, you said that, but it's also something different. It's also a change. But we also know the Creed brothers can go. We also know they can wrestle. They've had some really good matches.
But if you want me, if you want me to buy into the tag division and you want me to care about it, you can't give me a number one contender that hasn't been seen on TV in 7 months.
No, I said that to Dave earlier on. Exact same thing. And I just didn't care about it at all. So
I don't think you did, Keith.
Well, you see, I'm making this point because I really care about tag team wrestling. And I say it every week on the show.
Yep,
I always say like tag team wrestling. I love the art of tag team wrestling even more than singles wrestling, believe it or not. Because there's a huge art to it. The way they communicate, the way they wrestle, the way they look, the way they carry themselves, all that kind of stuff.
100%.
And this is what upsets me about it. And this is why I look at that match and I say that match is the very definition of how they feel about tag team
also
wrestling.
showed you how many teams they have in the division. Not just the fact that, you know, this match it showed how little they cared. There was 4 teams in there, and that's not including the tag team champions, Jey Uso, because God knows where the fuck Jimmy is. He hasn't showed up 6 weeks. But, like, you know, you've got the tag teams in WWE to have a successive successful tag division.
I've never seen a Raw tag belt going around on its own so much.
I know. there's just one tag team champion every week. It's so strange to me.
It's really, really strange.
But look, I'll cut it there. The women's match was very, very enjoyable. It was really a very, very good match, and a good build up to this Royal Rumble. Do you know what? This has been the best go home show in a long time since I can remember. Because we always spoke about it on the podcast before. The go home shows were always disappointing. There was never a build up to anything. You had AJ, you had the interview with Cole and Gunther, which I thought went down a storm. I thought that was really clever. And the tease of Finn leaving the Judgment Day. Thank the fucking Lord. I'll leave it at that. There's plenty more to talk about.
I think we read that room wrong. I don't think there's any tease at all of Finn Balor leaving the Judgment Day.
Oh no, I have a theory.
I think it's the other way around, and I'll be taking receipts on this show tonight in relation to Liv Morgan, as we spoke about her yesterday. And if you look at the interaction between Liv Morgan and Finn, and then what transpired later on in that
We'll see,
main
we'll see.
event,
But overall, really enjoyed Raw, but I'll leave the rest of it for the rest of the crowd because I don't want to cover everything. I'll leave the
go
rest
ahead,
of it. So,
Emma, come on in.
I'll pick the next one. Emma, yeah, Punk, Punky.
Listen, you know what? The main event was, announced. Also, before I go on to that, I love what Tozawa put up, and he was like, "This is our time, my brother," and stuff. I thought that was really nice. I'm quite happy that they have the chance now, and who knows, maybe they'll win. Punk and AJ, that promo was brilliant. Like it had, I was in bed watching it on my, I was just like, I'm ready for this. Like this is going to be good. And I wasn't expecting Finn to come out. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I'm happy. I am happy. But, oh yeah, I'm going to say something. It's going to annoy Keith. I don't care. Give the title to Raquel Rodriguez right now. Give it to her.
Yeah, you're
Right
dead
now.
right.
That
You're
promo
dead right.
was insane.
Folks, what about the pop off that Toronto crowd when Punk made that match?
Yes, it was
Insane.
The crowd was amazing last night.
The crowd-
Absolutely
Toronto, though,
amazing.
isn't it? That's Toronto.
It's Canada
That's
for you.
Canada, yeah. That's Canada for you. Love them. Oh, Canada, love yous. All of yous are watching.
What's Acer saying?
Yeah, absolutely. He's saying CM Punk versus Fergal Devitt, aka Finn Balor, Elimination Chamber World Heavyweight Championship booked. Judgment Day attacks Finn Balor following night on Raw, setting up Dirty Dom Mysterio versus Demon.
I'll take it.
WrestleMania
I'll take it all
42.
day long. Give me that.
We wish.
We hope.
wish.
We hope.
Can I finish
Um,
now?
Keep on going there. Yeah, far away,
Lads,
Emma.
Listen, I'm in a bad mood today. Don't pee me off, anybody. I'm joking. But I just think Raquel Rodriguez, she deserves that title so much. Her promos are insane. And can you imagine? She has a title, right? The rest of Judgment Day fizzles out. She's the women's champion. I can see it in the future. Planting seeds in my third eye that's right here. I can see it. I can see WrestleMania, right? Listen. Okay. Mark my words. We're going to get Dom versus Finn, Elimination Chamber. Dom, he lie, he cheat, he steals. Cheats on the match. Finn wants a rematch at WrestleMania for the title. The Demon comes out at WrestleMania, gets the title. Boom! Schwet.
Interesting.
That's really good.
Did anyone notice? Did anyone notice last night? And Keith, you're not going to like this, and it's not a jab at you. Maybe you can take it as well. When the women's match came out, Stephanie came out first. It was a little bit flat, I thought. And then Io came out, and you get that little bit of a pop for Io, and it went really flat. And then, of course, they lose their mind, obviously, when Rhea comes out. But then even when Rhea came out, it felt like it was Rhea and Io, and Stephanie was kind of separate to it. And then they eventually brought her in as part of the three. But she felt very much the outsider. And I kind of felt that they laying down seeds there for Rhea Stephanie in the future or something like that, because there was that distance between them that wasn't that closeness when you're part of a team going into battle. I don't know, did you pick up on it?
I did straight away when I watched it. But I think Rhea is the main big star in the company as women go, to be quite honest with you. So I think that's why she gets the biggest pop, and that's why she always comes out last. In saying that, though, I hope to God that we do get Stephanie versus Rhea at WrestleMania. That's my dream match. I want to see that, to be honest with you. No, I don't want to see a Raquel win, to be quite honest with you. Not now. Sorry, Emma. But
Can you tell us why?
Yes, Keith, why?
I just don't think the timing's right. I just think, to be honest with you, hold the title with Stephanie even until it's WrestleMania, and then after that, then like we always say, it's a new season, it's a new beginning for everything. And then if you want to give her the title after that, I just think the timing isn't right to give it to her yet.
Well,
That's just
it's
me.
now
Keith,
or never.
Keith, when you were watching the reactions last night, right? And I noticed the dead reaction for Steph as well. To me, Raquel Rodriguez had a standout performance last night. Herself and Rhea Ripley were the stars of the women match. And Raquel Rodriguez really, even when she was going through the back, I thought Bailey was phenomenal. I think sometimes, and Niall alluded to it earlier on, sometimes you just have to roll the dice. He alluded to the fact that sometimes they're too slow to act or sometimes they're too quick. I think it's too quick. But we've often said that they're too slow to act. Don't strike the iron whilst it's hot. I think, why not roll the dice, see what it's like? Because she's been phenomenal every week. And I was watching it and I was like, she is incredible. So why not? Why
Well,
don't
I
you
think the
timing
booking
is
for
right?
Stephanie Curtis hasn't been all that great since she won the title. Let's be honest here. Like, you
So
know,
creative.
creative wise, she hasn't been all. It hasn't been all that great. Personally, like I've been very disappointed in it. I thought we were going to get, like I said a while back, Liv Morgan when we had that little teaser.
I think there's something there, Keith, that we don't know about. I think she might have a niggly injury and they're protecting her a little bit.
Could be, yeah.
Because I haven't seen the intensity out of her in matches that we've seen on the run to the belt. What
Well,
I would say
Niall-
about Raquel is, what I would
Did you
say
s-
about Raquel, go on, yeah?
Sorry, Niall. Did you see at the end, though, near the end of the match, where Stephanie was on top of the announce table, and it looks like she was generally still hurt. I saw that anyway.
Yeah, no, I just think they're being very careful with it. With regards to Raquel, I think the idea of a slow burn on this one is good because I see her improving literally every week. And the more they can push that, the more she's going to improve and improve and improve. And I look at Raquel, and this is what I expected from Jade. And yet I haven't seen it. Because if you think about it, if we roll it back a year and look at Raquel, when we thought the Judgment Day were breaking up, we thought Raquel might be the one that could be potentially released from the company. Now a year on, her uplift and her ceiling is absolutely massive in terms of her improvement. Whereas if you look at Jade, Jade has just remained Jade. So I think what they're doing is they're looking at the situation with Jade and the title, and they're looking at Raquel and they're going, there's a dynamic to this girl every week that's improving week in, week out. Let's take our time on this and we'll know when the time is right.
You have to remember, we've
Go
not
ahead.
spoke about a Rumble winner for the women. You know,
We
there
have.
is going to be a Rumble winner for the women, but we don't talk about it much because we're so overtaken by Jade and the women's title. Don't get me started. The fact that it's being defended the Monday after feckin' Royal Rumble.
Well, we're gonna be tonight's the
the
night. We're gonna be doing our predictions tonight on the Rumble, so we will be.
Well,
talking
can I just say, sorry, Dave, can I just say one thing? Do you know what kind of annoyed me last night is that why could they have not put this Stephanie and Raquel match on a Royal Rumble instead of a Raw? Just have it for like a 10-15 minute match as a street fight.
Time.
It's all about timing. There's 2 Royal Rumbles on the card.
The Rumble matches soak up nearly 2 hours of the show.
Wait till they split it in two. This is the reason they're splitting it in two, I'd say.
I just think it should have been a Royal Rumble match, even if it's for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but see, the problem is we can make an argument for any match being on that Royal Rumble card. The problem is if you want to make it land and make sense to us and be meaningful to us, you have to give it the time that it needs to happen and stuff like that. And you also need probably a bit more of a build-up, to be honest. I don't think they've hit the full build-up on that yet.
I do think as well for Obafemi, I haven't read any spoilers or nothing. It's just my opinion. I think they're going to have a big, massive push with him at the Royal Rumble. They're going to do something big with him. Like, I think they're either going to beat the record or do something. I've been saying that for a few weeks. I just have that feeling.
I think with Obafemi, he'll get a significant elimination and then he'll be eliminated. But I think he'll get an elimination.
Yeah.
That will, one of those eliminations. I'm not saying like Maven and Taker kind of thing. He's going to eliminate someone big, and that will lay down his storyline going forward. Maybe, but that will lay down his storyline going forward into Mania, into SummerSlam, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be like we're going to roll out this guy and he's going to get 15 eliminations and stuff like that. Because to be honest with you, I think personally, if that happens, I'd be disappointed in the Royal Rumble, to be honest. I don't think that's the place for it at the moment. I think they're balancing so much talent at the moment. I think if you go for that elimination record and stuff like that, you're going to do a lot of talent, a lot of disservice because there's so many good wrestlers in it and stuff like that. Sean Mack, Raw.
Very good. Good follow-up from last week's great show in Belfast. And as Dave said, there's not many times, especially with Triple H, where a go-home show has actually left me excited for the show. And you need that, especially when it's a big four. The Finn and Punk stuff was great. when Finn was told he has to leave the Judgment Day if he wanted to get anywhere, it made me think of that first promo in Collision with Punk where he kept saying the line, "Tell me when I'm telling lies." If he can get away from them ASAP, that would be brilliant. Adam Pearce is great as well. I think he's been a really good manager and a great wrestler as well. I really like him as a manager. He doesn't take any bullshit. He's firm. He's fair. I think that's a really good quality to have. I know Minister of Foreign Affairs Keith wasn't happy with Alpha Academy winning the match, but they're over. They're over. And
My manager, my boss.
The Raw Tag Division on its own is a little
Fantastic.
thin. So it's not huge, but Otis is a star. Cesaro was brilliant as well. The women's tag match was good as well. I feel the last couple of minutes of it, though, the fourth quarter, if you will, was really, really good. I think they're all great, and even though I'm not a fan of Raquel, not a fan of Raquel Rodriguez, I just don't find her to be particularly interesting when it comes to character work or promos. But then again, you could probably say that for anyone in the Judgment Day not named Carlito. But we'll have to see where she goes. I think a title reign will be good, but I don't want her to just have it like thrown on her. There has to be build, and if there is build, then sure. And then the main event, CM Punk and AJ Styles, was great until Prince Devitt ruined it for everyone, but that's okay. I was a bit nervous after how amazing he was at Raw in Belfast, that literally 1 week later he was going to be back playing the PlayStation and doing terrible porn acting Judgment Day promos in the clubhouse. And I think we did get a little bit of that, but I don't know, to be honest, if I take Finn seriously as a threat when he's heel. Simply because his last few years in the Judgment Day has been heel and he hasn't been a credible challenger for any feud or title. He was a good guy in Belfast, and I felt that. So if he turns babyface, I might have a little more trust in it. And
I
then
think it's kind of been teasing that, Sean, though, especially with the CM Punk backstage.
Well, they're teasing it, but then he comes out and attacks CM Punk in the main event and ruins the match. So I don't know.
I love that dynamic they're laying down with him and Liv Morgan. I absolutely love it.
But it seems to
It's
be
just-
the seeds for a breakup, whether it be on Finn's end or Liv's end, is in the works, and I'm very happy because I'm excited for the potential of Finn breaking off and being as good as he can be, as we saw in Belfast. But also, I am so tired and bored of the Judgment Day. I don't even get upset about them anymore. I don't care about them. They add nothing. I feel nothing when I watch them. When they win a match, I feel nothing. When they lose a match,
It's not even the Judgment Day anymore. So it's just a group of people. Like I
Today.
don't even call them.
That's
They're the-
just the point I was making the other day.
Can I just ask him, do you think we feel the absence of Dom Mysterio since he's been out?
no, not really. It's not like
Absolutely.
the-
Him, Seth Rollins, absolutely.
a little bit, but it's
Absolutely.
not like the group was manifestly
J-
a better
JD.
team than-
Wait,
Jade.
guys, you haven't mentioned Finn Balor is not in the Royal Rumble apparently.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
if Adam Pearce said the match was full, I checked Wikipedia about 20 minutes before we went on the air. They've announced 15 men for the men's rumble.
Finn's winning it.
Yeah, so they've announced half the lineup, and Adam Pearce says, no, I can't, right? So I imagine the 15 will be reanimated wrestlers who've passed, people who've retired, people who gave up.
Jesus
Gave-
Christ.
given up
Shocks.
and
You'll get
stuff.
shocks.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of shocks in there. Yeah, you've
Joe
seen the video I
Kozuna.
posted in the group of Seth Rollins' giveaway of the Royal Rumble being fucking leaked on ESPN. I don't know if you watched the video or not. It's just stupid. Putting
He's
these
like,
people
His
I
on
will
the
not
face
be in the
and
Royal Rumble, guys.
His face
I'm
and his
Seth Rollins.
reaction. His face and reaction to be put in that spotlight was insane.
God.
Absolutely insane.
And
We've
he was there
also
talking
had
about
a,
Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you're not even
we-
there.
we-
Talk about wrestling.
we've also been listening on socials. Adam Copeland was talking about 6 years ago his return at the Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
No, he's
Yeah.
not coming back.
He's a shoe-in for next year. A shoe-in. 100%.
His retirement match is October this year, and it'll be in Toronto.
And his
Rumble's
comeback match is going to be
Saturday.
the Royal Rumble the following year.
in Saudi
And
Arabia.
his other match will be in WrestleMania. He will be back a lot quicker than John Cena will ever be back.
How
What do you
cool
mean
would it
every
be? How cool
won't be
would it be if he came out Saturday night and that like Tony
Lads,
had done
stop.
a bit of a deal with WWE?
Oh, lads, I'll cry. I'll
Who's
actually cry.
Cena or Edge?
If you
Edge.
knew the words, you think
Oh,
you
Edge.
know
I
me,
don't know.
I'll start crying.
Just
Swear
imagine.
God.
Imagine they did some sort of a deal in terms of this, this Andrade case and stuff. and that Edge's music just
Maybe,
hits
yeah.
and he comes out.
Or Jeff
He'll
Hardy.
be out.
Oh, lads, I cried.
You know.
And you know, if that was to happen, that would so like change my whole mood about Tony Khan and AEW. You know
I
what
told you,
mean?
all we need to do to get him on this show is just offer him an award. He'll give us a shout out, he'll give us a speech, and he'll talk about how honoured he is. That's all we have to do, because that guy would show up to a fucking an envelope opening. Do you know what I mean? It's getting ridiculous at this stage. Sorry, Bren, I was involved in a rumble before 30 lads going at it for an hour, so oh my god. I knew I recognised your face.
Mental.
Come here. I'm just gonna add. I'm gonna quickly add three things.
Yeah,
The
go
one
on.
thing we haven't brought up was Natty Hart.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I said I made a prediction. I said if we get the Natty Hart, she's the madly enough after years of being in the company, she's the breakout woman of 2026, and I believe that we're going to see a different Natty Hart, and it's going to be great. Raw before Royal Rumble didn't end in loads of men running to the ring and biting the head off each other. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Unbelievable. I was overjoyed. I was still waiting on it. And even when the credits, I was like, even when Paul Levesque comes up.
Yeah.
And the other
You were
guy,
expecting more, like.
right?
As Sean said, though, they've only booked 15 spots, so we needed
Yeah, so
about 10
do
black
you
hoodie
think,
guys to run out, didn't we?
Do you think Khali is going to be in the Rumble, Sean? Sean, you put up a nice background there of the beautiful great Khali. Do you think he's going to make a 15-minute entrance to the Rumble?
Jesus Christ, no, please don't.
Sean,
I
it looks
said
like
no.
you're kissing the great Khali. It looks like you're giving him a little kiss.
Look how hot that water is. You
Come
don't want
here.
to be there. I don't know, but I have a feeling apparently WWE are very confident that the surprises won't be leaked.
Which means we'll know by Thursday.
Yeah,
They
and-
should be
and-
called WWE Leak.
and given-
It's
Oh,
As,
Bren,
as the lads
no.
working on the arena drop the banner down with all the participants.
yeah. and given that
Not
most,
again.
and given that most of the Saudi fans started watching wrestling in like 2016,
Yeah.
you're going to get the casuals that are maybe not quite as good or active as they were in their prime. Or
Carrying Cross.
What do you think?
Maybe.
Okay, I don't know if we're finished with Rob, but what do you think the crowd's going to be like for the Rumble? Do you think they'll sell enough tickets?
yeah, I think
yeah,
honestly, the
100%.
Saudi fans they're
100%.
into it because they're treated like actual shows on the pay-per-view calendar rather than just big shows for people.
Don't sleep on their education on the product dealer has come a long way from
No,
those
yeah.
early crown jewels. These guys and girls over there, they are mad into wrestling and entertainment now. You can see it in
remember-
them and stuff like that.
Was it
No,
Super,
but-
Super
but
I mean,
Showdown?
for that price, you'd want to be selling out weeks in advance, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's feck all to go there. Well, for the ticket anyway.
Well, the
No,
stadium's only built since yesterday.
Well, look,
Do you know
Niall,
what I
I
mean?
just,
So-
look, Niall, I
Probably wasn't a lot.
remember you'd go to the Rumble, and the Rumble's as big as a deal as Mania, right? And so people will be planning it well in advance. With it being with the prices now, obviously that's beside the point. With it being in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people can't go. If they did it in anywhere in the States, I'm sure Niall would definitely he'd be saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be in the podcast tomorrow
Well,
because I'll be."
there's nothing to stop me going. I said to Dave last week on the show, if we had more advance warning of the costing of this, we'd be there. Like
No beer.
my full intention is to go to WrestleMania there next year.
No beer, no smoky bacon crisps.
Doesn't
all
do-
right.
but beer
That's all right.
doesn't really affect me that much, to be honest.
Nah, me neither.
I could take it or leave it. I'm
Aye.
all about. I just want to go over there once and experience it from a culture point of view and see what it,
Of course.
reaffirm my information myself, really, rather than what people say about it and stuff like that. No, I think it's very difficult in terms of the ticket sales and what we kind of like. They're still putting in the seats as we speak. So
Fair,
like
yeah,
it's
fair.
they've just assembled this
Fair point,
arena
fair
this arena was a dusty field 3 weeks ago.
Don't
So-
encourage Keith, will you not? Jesus.
No, but I mean, let's be honest, that's what it was. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think the Royal Rumble is such it's the most exciting pay-per-view of the year. I know you get the splendor and the spectacle of WrestleMania, which has become more of a spectacle and a splendor than it has actually about the actual physical wrestling product, to be honest. But I think with the Royal Rumble, there's an excitement to it. We will be out of our seats here on Saturday night as those numbers click by and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And the excitement and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's really, really important. And I've been to two of them, and I've had the pleasure of being to two. one really, really good one where Asuka and Shinsuke won and Ronda Rousey debuted, which was amazing in Philly. It was just
Class.
Yeah.
crazy. And then I was obviously there 2 years ago when Jey Uso was there and stuff. And I think Naomi returned, and it was really, really good as well. So some really good stuff. But I think the Rumble, there's just something very special about the Rumble. And what I love about it is they haven't abandoned it like the Survivor Series in terms of the format and stuff like that. The Rumble is that one constant in our wrestling calendar. We know we're getting, a 30-man, a 30-women Royal Rumble, and it's so exciting. And especially, I think it's more exciting for me at times. It's more exciting with the women's one as well, because I think the booking of the women's one tends to be a bit more dynamic, and they can kind of have a lot more kind of surprises and stuff like that. Where the men's is such a bolstered roster, you pretty much know what you're getting, apart from like, the Jericho rumors and various sort of things set might come back and that kind of thing and all that stuff. But very, very excited about it. I've never done a watch along for a Royal Rumble, so I'm really excited for us.
It should be a good one.
It's going to be such fun, and especially when you get into say those last 8 or 10 numbers and you're buzzing and you haven't had a surprise yet. So the stuff coming. We're going to be looking for that quick elimination, that mad thing, And like if you have the likes of an Otis in it or a Tosawa or someone like that, you're going to get that fun, entertaining element in it as well and stuff. We always love that Santino Marella kind of situation and all as well, But then you get down to the 4, and then it's serious business, and then we kind of know how it's going to take shape and stuff,
Like I always say about the watch along style.
Sorry, go on.
Good, bad, or indifferent, it's always bleeding amazing when we're watching it and it's steady and we have to crack and we bounce off each other. I just want to say one more thing about Raw and then let's move on. It's two things actually. First of all, Sean, your backgrounds are phenomenal. There was a picture of you there at one stage, a picture of your face.
Yeah, I think these are some of the leaked entries for the Rumble. There's
phenomenal, Mr. Blobby. The other thing about it is, I just want to touch on Division for 2 seconds. Division are in trouble. Specifically Austin Theory, obviously, and I have to say, you aren't going to like this, but Bronson Reed is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. It's not looking good for him. I don't think it is. He is entering mid-card mafia, and he's probably going to stay there. And whether or not he gets the odd title shot, if they put the title on him, it's not going to be good. They were shown up in the ring by Logan Paul and Braun Breaker. Shown up by a country mile. It's not even close. It is ridiculous. I actually got frustrated looking at Bronson Reed.
But it's not supposed to be close. The 4 of them are not supposed to be equal.
But no,
that's not how it's done.
But they're missing something, and it's tangible. It like with Breaker, you could see it from the start. With Logan Paul, you didn't want to see it, didn't like to see it. But you could see it. You could no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you now, Bronson Reed is mid-card mafia, and he's not gonna go any further. 100%. And
Brian, your mid-card must be overflowing at this point. Everyone's
of course it is.
Mafia.
Because well, listen, Mr. All-Inclusive, not everybody's a star. That's it. Not everybody's a star.
But the problem, Brian, is unless it's a war game situation or a Survivor Series, not all 4 of them can be in the main event. And we know with Logan Paul and his uplift, similar to what we spoke about with Raquel, he's going to pull that shine. And we know that the company's focus at the moment, with Seth going out injured, they had to pivot towards Breaker, and Breaker was going to be, by name, that breakout star who they were going to push. All the focus is on him. The rest of the lads are the support act to get Breaker to where he wants to be. And that's the compass of the faction. But it is. I think you're wrong. I think it is. I think with Bronson Reed, I think he's taken a bit of a step back, and I think it's purposely being done to bring the 3 boys more forward. Because remember, Austin Theory's only gone in as well. And Austin Theory in there as well. He looks the part. I was shocked because I didn't think that would work great. I think it's okay. I think it's beginning to show signs of stuff and things like that.
Until we get rid of the tribal thief, and until Austin Theory, he needs to shake whatever he has off, and they need to move in different directions, because at the moment it's not good, in my opinion. Also, as well, I do remember Teddy Tex Channel 4 specifically had a quiz thing called Bamboozle, and it was fucking brilliant. Anyway, sorry for going off there.
Don't forget as well that Ray's injured, so hopefully it's not too serious.
Does that?
Yeah.
I think we can definitely get Ziggler. I don't think Karrion Kross is going to be at the Royal Rumble.
He's dropping hints.
Yeah, of course he is. That's called independent wrestlers on the independent scene remaining relevant.
I'm
No,
happy
I
to move
No
on.
one's
to the-
paying to send Karrion Kross to Saudi at the moment.
Not a chance.
Come here.
Let's be realistic here now. You know what I mean? Let's listen. You're talking about binning off Bronson Reed, and you're talking about Karrion Kross rocking up at the Royal Rumble. Come on now. Let's keep
Listen,
it 100 here now. You know.
That's a hill. That's a hill that I'm
Yeah.
willing to die
Look,
on.
and look very much. Look at what Bonkers has just said here. That makes total sense. Jericho, Hobbs, Eaton Page, Joe Hendry. Where does Karrion Kross fit in at the end of that conversation? He don't.
I'm just saying.
You're dying on too many hills. Dave's right.
I'm plowing
Right,
up the hill at this stage.
let's have a quick talk then. Predictions, quick fire predictions. What are we talking about here at the Rumble? What are we going for? Who's winning the men's and the women's? What do we think?
It's going to be Roman Reigns, isn't it? But I would love for it needs to be Braun Breaker, personally, me. I think I'm stuck between what's her name, Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair. Probably Bianca Belair, but I don't know. I think it's going to be Bianca Belair, to be honest. And
Does that
then,
make you happy, Keith?
unless she changes her character, she needs to change up, to be quite honest with you. And I think she will. And I'm going to be intrigued to see what it'd be like. Like, she does need
Well,
the
remember now, Keith, she had changed up her character quite a bit before she went out injured.
Yeah, but I think she needs to go heel, personally.
She was heel.
No, she wasn't heel when she was with against Jade Cargill. And
I think she's going to come back as a baby face, and I think she's going to be the one that uncrowns Jade Cargill. That's
I hope
unfinished business there, and I think that
Yeah.
would make sense. And I think she's good enough in the ring. I'm a huge fan of Bianca Belair. I've really missed her since she's been out, and Naomi.
100%.
But I think Bianca, really is the girl in there who can carry Jade in a safe way in a big match on a big show. I think
Becky
she's
say that she
she's
was
that
the
good.
strongest wrestler she ever was in the ring.
Niall, here's a question for you. Who do you think will be the last four for the men's and women's?
Oh, you bastard! You stole me freaking question. Anyway, carry on.
Cool. Well, go on, Dave. You go first then. Go on.
No. Keith asked the question.
For me, I think in the men's, I think you're looking at Roman, Breaker,
Obi?
Sammy. Because I have a funny feeling Sammy loses the title match and jumps into the Rumble.
Yeah.
And I think, Emma, you alluded to that, I think, on the WhatsApp group as well, didn't you? That's the way it might go. I think Sammy might be one of the last four in there because they'll keep him in there really strong because of geography and everything else that we talk about. And I think the fourth...
Finn.
No. I've a funny feeling the fourth is going to be like a Lesnar or something like that. I think it's going to be a very strong last four. That's going to lay down a statement. Maybe
Does Balor
Cody.
take
Maybe
somebody out?
Cody.
Does Balor take somebody out to enter the Rumble? I mean, that's the impression I'm getting.
Probably.
The impression I'm getting is Balor's going to take somebody out.
Wait,
And I think I didn't write it in the I wrote it and I rubbed it out, but it was basically I had said that Balor could take somebody out and go on and win the Rumble, and what a swerve, what an amazing swerve that would be. I think
He's not.
I don't
winning
think it's
the
going to
Rumble.
happen.
He's not going to
No.
win the Rumble.
I think it's Reigns.
I think if you want to lay down the Judgment Day breakup, what you do is you have JD coming back and you have him and Balor in some sort of an elimination kind of thing.
I have a theory. I'm adding on to my
What?
theory that I said. Dom eliminates Finn, setting up for a match at Elimination Chamber. Dom cheats at that match. Finn's like, "You've done me wrong in these two matches." They have a match at WrestleMania. Finn gets the title. Judgment Day, gone.
Where does JD come in though? Because JD due back?
But JD's in there. JD's like, "What's going on? Why are you doing this? Like, what's going on?" Boom.
I think
Not gonna
Chad
turn on his
Gable will be
homeboy,
in
is
the
he?
Royal Rumble because he's due back soon, isn't he?
Who?
He's looking
Chad
swole
Gable.
as
Jazz
well.
and
I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen
good show.
pictures.
Good show. What?
That guy is jacked beyond wellness belief.
Lads,
Yep.
Kilo?
can you imagine
No,
if
Chad
Sami
Gable.
Zayn wins? If Sami Zayn wins the title
Ridiculous.
and Kevin Owens wins like Royal Rumble if he ever came back.
Kevin Owens.
No, I don't think he'd
Oh.
be back. Yeah.
Yeah, but
He's
imagine
been
if he came,
training. He's been training.
imagine if he
Yeah,
came back
doesn't
to
mean
Royal
he'd be back
Rumble,
yet.
bam, run it back. Put me in creative.
Unfortunately, I think.
I just,
Go on, sorry, no.
I just want to be clear about this. I'm supposed to be going to Vegas, and I might be at WrestleMania Sunday night, and I'm not buying a ticket if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn is in the title picture. And I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan, but I've just seen it so many times. I could probably get in the ring and act out the match myself at this stage. I am not happy.
How many times have we on this
I've
show?
I've no interest in it.
How many times on this show have we talked about the possibility of this brilliant thing, and that brilliant thing happens, only for them to present us with exactly what was leaked? In other words, Bianca Belair, I'm down with that. I want her to win. But Reigns, it was leaked 2 months ago that Reigns is going to win, and I think we could be looking at that. You seen the big finger on the back
We
of
did see the truck. We did see the
But
truck.
LA Knight has a big yes sign above it as well. So
That
On my predictions, LA Knight.
finger comes down, points at the WrestleMania sign.
Oh man, it writes itself.
See,
It writes
that's
itself.
Listen, he's my prediction. My woman's prediction is Roxanne Perez. Her and AJ Lee are the last two left. Their history.
Roxanne's not going to win it.
Yeah, but
Oh, there you
Keith.
go.
No, I,
I
hope
think
she
Li-
does.
I-
I would love if she win it, but I
No,
don't think
wait,
she
Keith.
will.
I've had enough.
I think Lyra could be in the last four.
I hope so.
She deserves it. After watching Unreal, and I know we'll touch on it, she absolutely deserves it.
Surely Lyra gets eliminated by Bailey.
You would think
No.
so,
The other
but
way
I can't
around.
see them doing that. Yeah, I can't see them doing that just yet. Can't really see them like.
Who'd be the last four then for the women's? AJ Lee could be maybe the last four.
Don't know.
Well, obviously, we're obviously thinking Bianca. I don't know.
Charlotte?
Anna, what are you thinking? Last four in the women's rumble.
Imagine if, like, see, I'm just thinking if someone eliminates someone, right, and it breaks them up, kind of. Listen, my mind's whirling, lads. I'm ready to get on creative. I'm ready. I'm going to call up Triple H, and he's going to be like, "What do you want, Emma?" And I'm like,
They are teasing also the Charlotte Alexa breakup.
that's what I'm saying. Imagine if Charlotte and Alexa are in the last 4 or 5. Charlotte eliminates Alexa, let's say. Alexa goes crazy, whatever. Last 4, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, Roxanne Perez, Laura Valkyria.
Now you see there why I talk about how the difference between the men's and the women's Royal Rumble in terms of dynamic and complexity and everything. We're all sitting here going, who the hell's going to be the last four in the women's? And we can't tell because there's so many top athletes and their female athletes performing
Really?
at such a high level. And to be honest with you, we could probably rattle off 8 that win it and we wouldn't be upset with any of them. Whereas I know guys will come in and go, oh, Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or Sami Zayn, and we all have different ideas about it. If you look at women's... Go ahead, Brent.
Sorry, are we all united in saying, look, you're dead right about the women's. You've hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned, but are we all united in saying we'd love Breaker to win, but
No.
the leak might be the case?
Brad, you're the only guy in this podcast that's united. Let's get that straight for starters.
Listen, Braun Breaker to win Elimination Chamber. That's my prediction. He is in Elimination Chamber. He wins Elimination Chamber.
Well, then Reigns is winning the Rumble, Emma. It was leaked last month.
Niall, are you still
I
going
think
to
LA
WrestleMania if you get Cody versus Reigns 3?
Of
course he is.
because I know Reigns will probably win.
I
I'm
do
chasing that
Please to
down
God,
like Shawn
no.
Michaels Undertaker. I'm chasing that down. Cody owes that man a huge favour.
Oh,
He should have never dropped the belt in the first place. He should have never dropped the belt in the first place.
You had to announce the Rumble on a bloody graphic in the middle of the show. It didn't even show up.
Liv, Bianca, Roxanne, Io, and Tiffany. Sounds great.
Again,
sounds great. Tiffany,
you can't go wrong. You really can't go
Tiffany
wrong.
Stratton.
Like,
No,
Sean, what's your thoughts? Mackie Max there.
Mackie, that's
lay the Mac down on us.
Lay the Mac, God. That should be my show. I should have a show called Lay the Mac Down, but you'd probably sue the pants off me, the pair of you.
Damn right I would.
Sorry about that. I think, normally this much uncertainty about the Rumble is a good thing. Because one of the things I always love about the Rumble is the surprise element and the fact it's unpredictable. It can also mean that they're going with a totally fucking stupid idea that is beyond anyone's brain or radar. Like for example, 2022, Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar, two shit winners of two shit rumbles. Although the women's was slightly better, but that's like saying, getting a bucket of water thrown on you is better than your house getting refinanced. I think with Saudi, it has to be big, right?
There's a pivot.
Yeah, could Logan eliminate Braun? I don't know. I think for the women, the women, it's not as clear. I think there's a couple, but I think it could boil down to Charlotte Flair, Rhea, Liv Morgan, and Tiffany Stratton. I think that's probably a safe four. Now, who wins out of them? I lean maybe towards Liv Morgan.
You don't see Bianca winning it at all, no?
If she comes back, possibly. But then again, I think they have to, bring her back a little, maybe not a little bit beforehand, but it has to be good. Because you can't just, Ronda returned at the Rumble and then had that shitter with Charlotte Flair, but like not that the feud was any good to begin with. So I think if Bianca can have a good feud with whoever the champion is at that point, or whatever championship she decides to go for, I think
Jade, obviously.
Yeah,
Jade.
more than likely Jade.
Can you imagine Paul Heyman if the last four in the men was the four members of the division?
He'd be there like this.
I thought you were going to say, imagine.
There'd be more camera on Heyman than anything else.
That's where my eyes would be.
When we were talking about the Women's Rumble and you said, can you imagine Paul Heyman? And I said, wait a minute. You know the way WWE have said they don't want the surprises to leak?
Could you imagine Heyman if there's members of the division in the ring and Brock enters?
Oh.
Could you imagine the look on his face with the camera pans?
Just imagine for you now, Bren. Imagine as we're doing this podcast, WWE Creative are in a room right now going, we're going to strap the rocket on Bronson Reed. He's going to win the
Yeah.
Emma will be straight onto the channel clipping up these clips like a maniac.
You know what? If that happens, I'll put butter on a sandwich. That's how confident I am.
You don't have butter on a sandwich.
Yes, Bryn.
Oh, we're not going to get into Emma. Don't kick that off. You know, you eat cereal dry with no milk.
Bryn has been up to my respect for Bryn has always been here, and now I feel it's here, and now it could be.
And the filler in a sandwich is normally a strip of sandpaper, and it's like the drier the better. That's why Brent's dying to go to Saudi. It's so dry.
That's why the lads in Fingers love him.
He eats soil from the bag, like.
Brent got upset when they put that arena on that sand field because the dryness of the sand field was more.
Brent's out there laying on the sand. He's making sand angels.
He'd be rolling, and imagine them on the beach.
Instead
of lads and Fingers would have wanted.
Instead of Pop-Tarts, he has these Gandhi flip-flops.
Yeah. Now he has a syringe and he sucks all the jam out of the Pop-Tart and then toasts it.
He brings the rig up because I'm from Blanche, is it?
That's it. Right. Raw roster. Bit of fun. You have $10 to spend. Just probably.
This is terrible.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah, of course you can.
When you have these things where it's like you have $100, whatever, the people at the cheapest are normally like the less popular, maybe the weakest. Why is CM Punk and Kurt Angle in there?
Why is Jeff Hardy?
That's why it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
And the other thing, if Triple H is holding the pen, there is not a hope he'd be in the $2. But then again, he hates bringing attention to himself, so maybe he wants to be there. So that's fair enough.
He is on 4 covers of
2K26. In terms of the $2, it's like the beard and the shaved head Triple H. So it's not the long-haired game Triple H that you're getting.
Also, why is Kane higher than Kurt Angle? Kane, and look, I can see that is a new picture of Kane wearing his old gear. He's not pulling the wool over anyone's eyes.
That's Mayor Kane, isn't it? In the mask. Okay. Right, who wants to kick it off and give us the roster?
Niall, I've one little tidbit to do before you get onto this Raw roster thing.
Okay, go on, yeah.
On the WWE roster on the website, there's a certain female talent who has been marked as inactive, and that's AJ Lee has been marked inactive on the website.
That's probably accurate based on the last 2 months, isn't it?
Well, if they have that on the website, I don't think she's showing up this weekend.
She's just taking it.
Well, that might be the very reason she is showing up. if you think about it.
This is
Anyway,
the worst
I
day
don't
ever.
Build
good
your
sign, Emma.
roster.
We got CM Punk
Lads,
at
it's
dollar.
very-
We got CM Punk in the Dollar Tree section. We got AJ Lee and active. Emma's having a mare
10
of a
CM
show.
Punks.
The
10
bus,
CM
the
Punk.
rain, the whole lot.
CM
This is
Punk,
straightforward.
Chicago Punk, Chick Magnet Punk.
Right, Bren, you kick us off.
Um,
Give us your roster.
Yeah, I'm gonna go one from each line because it's straightforward enough. It's John
I knew you'd make that mistake.
I haven't made any mistake. It's
You
John
have.
Cena. It's John Cena.
That's
You're not gonna like. It's Cody Rhodes. It's very
Oh,
predictable
no.
what I'm gonna do. It's John Cena, Cody Rhodes. I would say Brock Lesnar, and my last one is a tough one. I mean, you're not gonna like this. I'm gonna go Miz.
No.
No, that's fine.
No, Bren,
Absolutely.
that's why you will never run a wrestling company.
No.
What?
Never.
Why?
What is
Oh,
with
the
Never.
this, man?
Miz.
I'll come back now. I'll come back to you because
No.
I'm
Yeah,
a huge
yeah,
Miz fan.
yeah.
I'll come
That is
back to you.
not
Yeah.
awesome.
No.
Bren,
Okay.
Dave.
I'm
I want to see if everyone has made the same mistake. Dave, go ahead.
gonna go Stone Cold Steve Austin, Eddie Guerrero, Big Show, and Kurt Angle.
What is wrong with all these? Sorry.
Was Kurt Angle the one that sent you?
That's okay.
I like all
Keith,
them.
Keith,
Kurt
Keith,
Angle.
Keith, give us your roster.
10 Eddie Guerreros.
I'm gonna go Taker, Eddie, AJ Styles, and Kurt Angle.
No.
This is brilliant. They're all making the same mistake. I'm loving this.
I
Sean,
don't
give
think
us your
Sean's gonna
roster.
make.
No.
What's the mistake?
I'm not going to tell you. I'll
No,
tell
no,
you
Sean,
at the
just
end.
give the roster. Give the
I
roster.
don't
know either.
have. I don't have any.
You have no
arsehole.
heels, man. You have no heels on your fucking roster.
The devil is in the detail. The
Alright.
devil is in the
I'm
detail.
gonna
If you
I'm gonna
look
do
at
it
the
a little.
slide,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it a little differently. While it's very sound to pick one from each row, with the cheap ones you can get one or two and still have some budget. So start low.
Now you're
So
talking.
Jeff Hardy,
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk, and Kurt
Mhm.
Angle,
And Dolan's gonna love this.
and then I'm gonna get.
we finally have a guy who read the room. Go
Okay.
ahead, keep going.
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Yes, good. And then I'm gonna have motivated pre-wee Brock Lesnar. So I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've half it gone. And then I am going to take John Cena. I'll have $1 left, and then I will take Sheamus. And that's a really fucking hard list because
Brilliant.
it's really, really good. I think everyone here will be great. Because I'm just imagining it's everyone here in their primes. So you're not getting 2026 Kane.
But you're definitely getting 2024. Definitely getting 2024 Triple H though.
And hopefully
Just
not
look at the
20. And hopefully not 2026 Eddie Guerrero either, because that'd be $3 you're not seeing again.
Give us your roster, Emma.
Oh, you're actually gonna hate me for one of this, but you
Oh,
know
no.
what? You know what? I'm gonna have John Cena.
Yes.
I'm gonna have Roman Reigns. I'm gonna
Okay.
have Jeff Hardy, The Miz, and CM Punk.
Okay. Very modern, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very modern. Well, Cena's gone, but it's modern, I think, which is good.
Oh, before you do yours, I want to point out I did do foundation mats before you're away. Go on.
I did ordinary maths and I got it right, Brent.
Well, first of all, if you read the slide first of all says raw roster, which means you need a roster. So the more cogs you have in that roster reel, the better the show you can book and the more options you have. Right. So if you just pick 4 wrestlers, you don't have a roster. You can't really book very much. And if one of them gets injured, you're fucked. So it didn't say on this slide you could just pick one from each line. It never said that. So what I picked was all the bottom 5 at $1 a piece, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Because I have Brock and Angle, I have Punk and Reigns, I have so many options in there. Raw roster.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I think me and Niall won that one, I'd say.
No way, Jose.
Oh,
I feel like
No,
doing
Emma was part of that multiple line
Oh, yeah.
crew. Absolutely.
all three of us won. I feel like
logical Larrys and Lorraines there.
the Predator handshake. Yes, son of a bitch.
Brent's sitting back now feeling all silly about his raw roster.
Come
Come on, Brent. And this is why I
Vibration.
put these up, and this is why when these are posted into the group, I never say
But
it.
you-
I sit back.
You also
Listen.
knew picking me first, I'd set a precedence. And that's what I did.
I did.
Oh,
I
man.
did.
Not cool.
I did.
You
That was
silly
fun.
goose.
This should be a weekly segment. We should look for these. You have
Definitely
X
silly.
amount of
Next
money.
week's
These are-
women's.
These are little
Okay.
Easter egg kind of things. Yeah, little Easter egg type things. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to skip over this because basically it's just more about sort of Jericho and Paige potentially coming back. But I think we've discussed enough Royal Rumble till Friday anyway, till our watch along. Right. I want to talk about AJ's retirement. Talk to me, folks, or everyone's take this. I have a take on this. I feel a bit deflated about AJ Styles' WWE career. I don't think it's anywhere near hit the straps of his TNA career and what he did in New Japan. And I think WWE has kind of let us down a little bit on AJ Styles. And I'm a huge AJ Styles fan.
Is this
Let
as
me
a
know your
result at
thoughts.
the end of it?
Not just a result at the end of it and not just a result of the Gunther thing,
Okay.
but I think if you look at AJ Styles and if you take, for example, his WrestleMania booking, I think his WrestleMania booking at times has been very deflating. I think
Well,
at
Niall-
times in huge big pay-per-views, I think the build-up has been way better than the delivery of the match.
Well, Niall, do you remember when he first came in? Vince wasn't really a big fan of AJ Styles, or something I read ages ago about that.
Who?
Vince at the time
I don't
when
know
he
what you're
was,
talking about.
Oh wait, that's that guy from Surfs Up in WWE thing, isn't it?
I know what you're trying to say. I'm not sure if that's the case. I don't think he knew too much about him. But didn't he give him the kind of go out there and be like a pit bull? And didn't that kind of add an extra like kind of layer to AJ Styles? Didn't he contribute to that at the very least? But you made the WrestleMania point before, Niall, and I never really thought about it. And yeah, he was never really booked correctly. I don't know. I liked his run, to be honest with you. Maybe because I'm a Fed guy, as we always point out. I thought his debut was excellent. I thought he's had some amazing moments. He gave The Undertaker his last match. The match with John Cena on the retirement tour was one of the highlights. I think it's more highlights than filler, in my opinion. What say all ye?
I'm not necessarily saying it was filler, but if someone comes up to me and says to me, if I'm put in a cell tonight and I'm told I can watch 2 hours of AJ Styles,
For what?
doesn't
I
matter
thought
what
he
I'm
was
put in
lost in
for.
the shuffle, to be honest with you.
Because I run a wrestling podcast with you guys. But let's suppose I'm put in a cell for the next 2 hours, and the only thing I can have is 2 hours of AJ Styles. Dave may or may not agree with me on this. The 2 hours of AJ Styles I'm looking at are the 3 ways with Joe and Chris Daniels.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not even going to argue with you.
I don't want to see AJ Styles with John Cena, that match where he broke character and gave him the cool announcement and they did each other everyone's finishers under the sun and all that kind of stuff. I don't care for that.
What
I
about
don't
the other
care
match
for that
they had?
because I think
Sean-
that dilutes down
sorry.
the talent of AJ Styles so much. If you look at AJ
Sean Mack,
Styles in Japan, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to take it, take
Sorry,
it.
I
That's
butted
just
in,
how
so
I
it's-
feel. No, you're fine.
I'm
go on.
I'm interested
Any
to see
scandal
what
of the AJ John
see
Cena
what you
match was
think,
Stephen last one. Well, I think
Sean. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, I think, as Niall said, that TNA stuff was legendary. And it's not as if he's had a bad run in WWE, because I think that would be incredibly disingenuous to say. He's done some great work. Those Cena matches, all of them were bangers. That last one was a cherry on a disgusting cake of a retirement tour. He had a great run with Roman. He did lots of great work. The match with Shinsuke maybe wasn't halfway as good as we thought it was. Well, until the last one. The only thing I don't like is when I hear AJ Styles is retiring in 2026, that makes me think, just like the John Cena farewell tour, it's going to be a full year of AJ Styles, one final hurrah. Hopefully, no
It won't be in WWE though.
Yeah.
It'll be in TNA and it'll be in New Japan.
And
He will
that's-
retire from WWE at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He will not retire from wrestling.
And
He'll
that's-
go on and then
yeah.
do the TNA
That's a
stuff.
shambles, though, Dave. In my opinion, that's a shambles. If that's the case, if he loses to Gunther, he should not wrestle for another company. He should be Dunzos.
Yeah, but the fact that it's Saturday, that apparently Shinsuke has he's leaked, he's said pretty much it's happening Saturday. That is
But-
really, really
But
shit.
Brian, you can argue the point as well with Ric Flair retiring, and then he went to TNA then about what was it the next night?
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
forget about
Yeah,
that. That was a shambles.
that was a
the
dick
thing.
move,
The thing I would say about Bren's point there is, I would agree with Bren here if AJ Styles was a product of WWE and the Performance Center, and he was WWE lifer. He was a fed guy, but he's not a fed guy. And the vast body of his work in terms of career highlights, in terms of if you do a top 10 of AJ Styles' matches for his whole career, if you're not a fed guy, over half of them aren't WWE, I would say. And for that very reason, I think him retiring in that way, where he could do TNA and New Japan, and maybe even potentially Ring of Honor, pretending on the on contract situation, who knows? I think that is the perfect way to retire. You couldn't do it with John Cena because John Cena was a product of WWE. He was WWE true and true. He was a fed guy. He was a company guy. That's different for a guy who goes in there. To me, Shinsuke Nakamura has to retire in New Japan, not in WWE. And I think that's where we miss the point sometimes when we look at the dynamic between guys who are like totally WWE all their life, like John Cena, and guys like AJ Styles, who have a body of work out there that's massive outside of WWE. And I think we need to take that into account as well. And that's why I think, as Dave says, this is very clever the way they're doing that. They're getting him out of town in terms of WWE quite early. They've learned from the Cena Farewell Tour that it's bullshit. AJ is not a massive merch mover either. I know from having the shop. So it's not like they're going to flog AJ Styles Farewell Tour shirts. He's here, he's here, he's here. But I can tell you one thing. If AJ Styles comes out at Bound for Glory, that's the money shot. That's the money shot. And probably be a bigger money shot in terms of the take on it than what we're going to get potentially on Saturday.
If he goes back to Japan, he'll sell out the Tokyo Dome 7 nights in a row.
Easily. But I don't know. I just don't want it to be so soon. I think he's had a brilliant run, but I don't think it's always been on par with TNA or AEW, or if we're going to go this far, maybe even the XWF, or the XWF, the WXF.
Yeah.
No, prima donnas, they said with the roster with Hulk Hogan.
Where'd Emma go?
Don't know. But do you know what the problem is, Sean? I don't trust creative now after John Cena to structure a farewell tour for AJ Styles, which is why I'm okay potentially with this Saturday, or maybe run it. Maybe we go to Mania. I'd like him maybe to retire at Mania more than the Rumble in Riyadh. I have a problem with that. But I don't trust the company to give him the send-off he needs, because I feel the company only kind of 50% recognizes the career of AJ Styles.
No, totally. And I think anyone on this podcast or anyone with a phone who's watched wrestling for 5 minutes could have booked a better retirement tour for Cena.
Yep.
I don't know. As you said about the merch, I don't know about a tour. As in, AJ Styles is going to be in your city. You have to be there, kind of thing. But just have one final year where he gets to have some good matches. And because that TNA partnership is, still active,
sort of there.
In fact, he showed up on Impact like the debut episode, not even like 2 weeks ago. Let him have a few matches elsewhere. Because as you said, as much as I would have loved to have seen, I don't know, like motivated John Cena that he was against Cody Rhodes SummerSlam against, like, I don't know, Takeshita or against Speedball Mike Bailey. That would have been great. But Cena is a fed guy through and through. He lived in that company and he died in that company. And he will die under contract with that company. So, but AJ, as you said, the New Japan connections, the TNA connections, I think I know Shinsuke got to do the Great Muda's retirement match, but that was like because it was Great Muda. I think if AJ could do more, could pop up in TNA, I was going to say maybe, I don't really know if there's any big events in Japan other than Wrestle Kingdom, which was January, and he's going to be well gone by then. I don't know, but I really wish there was something more than just, I'll do anything.
Sean, you're gonna love this. My feeling on this is, if AJ Styles is retiring, I want to see AJ Styles one more time with Samoa Joe. I want to see him one more time with Christopher Daniels. I want to see him one more time with Rhino.
Yep.
I
Who's doing brilliant work, by the way.
nearly even throw the mask on the guy in creative at the moment and give me one more lockdown with Abyss.
Would you go as far as one more match against Bully Ray?
I'm going to faint.
Absolutely.
No.
And I
No, I would
also and I also think as well is I think he's the guy who potentially should go in there and bring that bit of closure to the Bullet Club in New Japan.
Has that not already, have they not
my
disbanded?
biggest thing
They've
with that,
disbanded,
Noel,
yeah.
is,
Yeah,
and again, this is the last thing I'll say in it, because I think I've over-talked in it. I don't mean to be pedantic, Pat, but this to me should have been sorry. This to me should have been a loser leaves town match, not a retirement match. And I think that's just me being really pedantic. It should have been a loser leaves town match if that is indeed the direction they're going. That's just my feelings on it. If it's a retirement match, regardless of being a Fed guy or not, it should be a retirement match. That's it.
But the other thing is, right, the thing that made Cena's retirement match, well, looking back on it, in hindsight, the experience was incredible, right? It wasn't his hometown, but had all these people surrounded. Saudi Arabia is not remotely close to Gainesville, Georgia. AJ
You sure?
Styles, well, I think Belfast was closer to Gainesville than Jeddah was, or not Jeddah, Riyadh. You know, it has to be an occasion, and I don't think him retiring to the Saudi crowd, as much as good as Saudi crowd are, I will give them the credit, as you said, Niall, as knowledgeable of the product as they are. I don't think it would. You know,
I think the sentiment is because that's where he debuted and that's where he finishes, because it's the Royal Rumble, and it just so happens that this is the year and it's in Riyadh, and that's why I think they're probably going to pivot and give him a retirement in TNA and New Japan and maybe Ring of Honor and wherever else he's done stuff and all, you know. And because I think that's why they're doing it, because I think they recognize as well that Riyadh might not be the location for a guy like AJ Styles to retire. And I think that's why they're selling it this way. And I think that's why he's saying all the time his WWE career. That's what he's talking about.
I know we had mixed opinion on the Cena retirement tour, rightfully so, but at least it sounded good. Him having his final match in the nation's capital. Where did AJ Styles have his match at? Riyadh, in a big stadium with fans on their phones, and you know, the show being more there.
Hence the reason, if that's the finish, if that's what Brent thinks, hence the reason, if that's the finish, we're definitely going to be looking back on his TNA career in a more favorable way, I think.
It's hard to tell. But I think
the other thing on that is WWE have a great relationship with TNA at the moment, so there was nothing actually stopping them from allowing it seamlessly just go into a TNA run. So that's why it's annoying me a little bit more as well, because they have that opportunity. They can do that anytime they want. So that's why I'm being a bit pedantic about it. I have to stop saying pedantic. I
think, Bren, it's because they view them still, even though they're part of TKO, they still view them as two very separate bodies. And there's lots of nice interlinks there with NXT and stuff like that and all. But I think you can see when AJ Styles shows up on TNA TV, it's different gravy, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah. And certainly if at some stage you're able to resurrect the three-way with him, Joe and Daniels would be just absolute gravy, you know what I mean? I mean, there, as I said, that's my viewing for him. Above anything else, really, is that TNA run he hadn't there at the time, that run even to the belt, even the stuff he did with Jarrett, you know, like, I mean, he's had chemistry with everyone, you know what I mean? Like, he wrestled everyone on that TNA roster and had chemistry with every one of them. Never had a bad match. That's why we were also pissed at his treatment at the end of that TNA run. It was absolutely fucking deplorable what happened, to the point where it pushed him in that direction. You know what I mean? Like, you talk to TNA, you talk to AJ Styles. AJ Styles probably had plenty of chances to join WWE. He didn't jump at them at certain times. You know what I mean? So it's you know what I mean? He was pushed in a certain direction. AJ Styles was always a TNA guy. Always. He's the face that run the place. He's the face. He's the house. He created the house. You know, he's Mr. TNA. Him even retiring in WWE, to me, even feels a little bit weird, even though I followed him for years and there, whatever it is, 10 years now or whatever it is. Like, it's just, you know, that 10-year run in WWE to me, and that's just me being personal, and I know people that have other views on it, doesn't even touch his TNA run. I think personally, match for match.
I'd
And
agree.
it doesn't, yeah, but it doesn't mean the WWE run was bad. It just
No,
wasn't.
no,
quite-
no. I'm not throwing the WWE run under the bus at all. And if anything, I'm saying he should have hit much bigger straps in WWE. But as you guys said, maybe with the Vince era and not looking at certain guys and all that kind of thing and all. And I think wrestling had to evolve and change, certainly through the NXT product and all that kind of stuff and all. You know, but I think if AJ Styles financially had a choice and the finances matched what they had and everything was rosy with TNA and TNA became the bigger number 2 company at the time and stuff like that and all, and you didn't get the Bischoff Hogan influence and all that other stuff.
God,
I don't know how long AJ Styles' run in WWE would have been, or if it even would have happened. Being honest, if the finances measure, now I'm sure he made a stack more cash in WWE, like for like. There's no doubt about that. But they're all generally multi-millionaires. When you look back on your career, it's about the moment you create and stuff like that. And if you tell me that AJ Styles, after being retired for 6 months, sits down with his kid, and he has said as well he'd love to come back and wrestle his kid, didn't he, in a match? He said that as well in an interview and stuff like that. But if you look at AJ Styles, I envisage AJ Styles sitting on his couch, sitting back, looking at some of those TNA matches and those X Division matches and stuff like that and all. He was truly phenomenal. And he got that name from that run in his career. That's what made him really phenomenal. You know, so that's why I want to bring it up as a slide and talk about it and get your thoughts on it and stuff like that also.
Deadly.
Anyone else want to add anything else about AJ Styles?
No.
Isn't it weird how Vince booked him better than Triple H? Back in 10 years ago when NXT was the thing, you said that Triple H will overtake this current product that's terrible, and he won't book AJ Styles as well as Vince would. You'd probably laugh at him, call him an idiot.
That's another show, I think.
But if
another...
but I will say in advance, if it is Saturday, that we say goodbye. Thank you, AJ Styles, for everything. And losing him and John Cena within the space of years, as Joe Biden said, like 15 9/11s, it's real bad. It's real shitty.
A massive statement
for people. Well, maybe not that bad. It's
you know what I mean.
not
great. You look at AJ Styles as well. How can AJ Styles retire in a ring? And I know the locker room might pour out and it might get emotional on Saturday, but if that pour out
Hall of Fame to get.
But if that pour out doesn't include Chris Daniels and Samoa Joe and Abyss coming out from the gorilla position and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and guys like that.
Yeah, you'll get Abyss, but no one else. And you only get Abyss. You'll get
the young bucks aren't showing up, that's for sure.
As he's walking out, Bruce Pritchard berating him.
I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry, Bruce. Bruce.
I don't know.
Very good.
Yeah. Why is he apologising? He should have just took his head off with a lariat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
apologised with his dick. You know what I mean? And Pritchard looking up at him, giving him socks, and this guy's like, I just don't want to let anyone down. You're not letting anyone down. Beat the fucking motherfucker around the gorilla position.
Yeah. Imagine Abyss, the monster, the king of Monsters Ball, being intimidated by Brother Love. What a world.
Do you know, I was at that lockdown where AJ fought Abyss. Remember when he took his head off at the cage spot with the door?
Yes.
I was literally 10 feet from that in the mosh pit in the TNA zone.
Oh,
it was sensational. I've been an AJ Styles fan for so long. It's incredible, really. We wanted to touch on, we are coming up to time nearly, so I have a little bit of history here for the Royal Rumble and some birthdays and stuff, but I do want to touch on quickly. Unreal Season 2, thoughts? Quickly,
I only have 2 things to say about it, really, because I know we're running on time. So at times, WWE Unreal was like what Netflix did to the American police force. Made them look like idiots, made them look like complete idiots. And then there was moments.
You're never visiting that country as long as Trump's in charge, that's for sure.
But there was sometimes I'm looking at creative going, what in the name of God are you talking about? This is straightforward. And the other thing I'll say about it was, what's special for me was seeing Lyra Valkyria, the moments that she had, how much it meant between her and Becky. And it was moments like that that made it special for me. But in all, I'm obviously going to watch it when it comes on. But unfortunately, it's not for me. It's just not. The moment, the stupidity outweighs the moments, even when they're in a creative. Like Triple H, I don't hate it. What the fuck does that mean? Like seriously, ridiculous. Anyway, that's all
Well,
I'll say.
I suppose in creative meetings compared to what used to happen around Vince's pool, there has to be like a certain decorum within creative. Like you can't. It's like, you know, when we're on the podcast here, we come out sometimes with some outlandish takes. It's all just opinion based. That's what it's about and stuff like that. So I think we kind of have to look at it from that point of view as well. I have to say I really liked it. I loved the emotion of Becky breaking down, talking about her dad passing and that he was in that seat. You know, and I'm friendly enough with our brother Richie as well, and you know, the dad and stuff like that and all. And it was just, it was good to see. I think the good side of Unreal is that we forget these are actually human beings that get up every day, train, eat their breakfast, have a crap, walk their dog, do all this other stuff that we all do day in, day out. And apart from that, then they're these massive superstars that are known worldwide and stuff like that. And to see what it means to them. And as you said with Lyra, to see what it means to her that she feels like she's letting down the company if it goes wrong and it doesn't hit the straps that they think and all. And it may not be her. It could be just the angle that creative laid out just didn't hit for one reason or another. I do really like it. There's certain parts of it that are kind of a little bit uneasy, like that silence of footage inside those creative meetings where there's just a quiet. And like you have Road Dogg there going, well, I don't know what the fuck to do then, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And that's okay, because like with the amount of stuff they have to come up with, you can certainly have a creative block, you know?
Do you think he resigned because of the way they made him look in Unreal?
No, I'm sure he would have had a fair idea before it came out. He knows the footage that was shot and stuff like that. Yeah. He may not have had a full scope of how it looked, but I mean, I think he was presenting it in a way where I think he wanted to come across that this is not an easy environment and it's not for everyone, you know what I mean? And it's and you know, the thing about it is with the Road Dogg as well, I mean, I can talk about Jake the Snake Roberts having an unbelievable creative mind for the business.
Yeah.
I don't think at any point I've ever thought, you know, the Road Dogg, he'd be a super agent and have a mind for the business.
And he's so charismatic.
I'm not saying he doesn't, and I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be doing the job and stuff like that and all. But I just, you know, when you think of minds for the business, you know, when you think of Macho Man, you think of Ricky Steamboat, think of people who have minds for the business, who can get to a roadblock in their thinking on creative and go, push beyond that and find a way to sell us the product in a certain way and tie us in emotionally to these superstars and stuff like that. And you can see the work that goes in and what's involved in and stuff like that. And the debating on those creative things must be insane to the point where I'd say you drive out of that car park most evenings and think, I just don't want to drive back in there tomorrow, but you have to. And it's like, it's trying to find it. And you have such a mix of people there as well. Not dissimilar to what we have on the podcast here, because we've so varying ages from like 18 or 20 all the way up to me being 53. So we all have different views on how wrestling should be and how it should be booked and how we like it to go and how we want it to go. And, you know, where you guys, some of you guys will come on and go, Sami Zayn, I'm quite happy for Sami Zayn to win the belt or win the Rumble or whatever. And I'm sitting here going, not for me. And like, it's good that we all have different opinions because it's an opinion-based thing, you know, and there's no right or wrong. If Sami Zayn wins it, it could go off. It could be great. It could be the best thing ever. He could go on a massive run. It could be insane. Who knows? You know?
But no, I can ask you, do you think this will harm the product if they keep doing this for the next couple of years?
The only way it harms the product if fans allow it to harm the product. It's ultimately down to the fans to shape and move and control the product the way it goes. Because as Triple H says in it, and I know it's not true, he goes, we always listen to the fans. But they don't always listen to the fans, and that's where it goes skew-ways. But the thing about it is, there is a certain influence there. You know what I mean? Like if the WWE universe comes out on a massive wave that they want Sami to be champion and stuff like that, WWE recognizes that, and that's what they book towards. That's why we spoke about earlier in the podcast how quickly they drop stuff. Like if you look at Shinsuke, how quickly they drop stuff. It's because the feedback is no one cares, and they don't give it a chance because they think that we're as fans dynamic enough to go, we can pivot to Shinsuke and this character or pivot to Asuka and that character, and we can just switch it on a weekly basis and stuff like that, where we actually can't. Because as wrestling fans, and no disrespect to any of us, we live in a kind of a a bubble that's very, very different, where we have to be kind of spoon-fed a little bit on this journey, and we have to be wrapped around with an arm around our shoulder to like certain things and stuff. How many times do we start out? How many times do we start out with stuff where we don't like it at all, and we grow into it and we love it?
Yeah.
And then we come back out of it, and then we hate it, and then we grow into it and we love it. and you know what I mean? How many times have we flip-flopped on certain characters?
I tell you what, though.
Or true in the last year.
Remember Keith Lee?
Yeah.
Man, if what I'm hearing is true. Poor
Well,
Walter. And the
Yeah.
As much as I said a few minutes ago about not really liking it, that teaser for season 3, you're damn bleeding right. I'll be tuning into season 3, and I'll watch it in one go. It's John Cena. It's a retirement tour, but I'm also aware as well of how structured and edited it is, and how Unreal might be a little bit scripted and unreal. So
My favorite part of Unreal, and I know this is going to make you laugh, my favorite part of Unreal was John Cena's dad showing up to R-Truth's album launch.
Yeah.
absolutely
It's cool.
beautiful.
I'm sorry, that was amazing.
And not
John
only that,
Cena's
him
absolutely amazing.
fanboying out.
Yeah.
Would you mind signing my record?
He's
Would
a
you mind
huge
signing my
fan.
picture?
He's
you know
a
what I mean?
just like
Class,
Vinny,
man.
superstar.
I
The only-
love
And the thing
it.
about it, R-Truth was only short of asking for $20 for the signing or something. You know what I mean? But that's the realness of Unreal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it if people think it's shite and they don't like it and they give us too much and we get too much of an insight into it and stuff like that. But the reality is now, 90% of our viewing on TV and 90% of our viewing and entertainment is about reality stuff. We don't really watch stuff that's not reality anymore unless you're going into the world of comic book movies and stuff like that. And then even those fans think that's actually reality.
The one thing I will say, I know we have to move on, but we know of the predetermined and choreographed and
so are
preset.
movies and TV shows.
No, and I'm not saying for 1 minute, but the thing is, if you see a cool magic trick, days later, and even though some stuff's going on, you don't necessarily want to see it. And I think it was Tracy Smothers who said this. He said, "We know kayfabe is dead, but you don't have to piss on its grave. Triple H is not John Cena at Vengeance 2003. He is not Natty Neidhart pissing on an AI slop grave." And there's times, I think it's a very well made show. And it's very, very interesting because, as you said, we all love reality. Even when I watch movies and I see, I love horror, for example. When I see a really good kill, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder how they did that. That's great. But then again, I don't necessarily really want to see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a brilliantly made series, but I think it's not really necessary.
Yeah.
I remember being kind of captivated when Kevin Owens hit the package pile driver on Cody.
Yeah.
And then he got in the shoving match with Triple H, and people were like, "Oh fuck!" Because that happened after the show went off the air, so everyone was filming it.
Yeah,
It was weird.
yeah.
Then after you see him laughing, like, "Oh my God, I thought you were gonna, say it's a bit jarring." I think it's a really good series, but it's not something I have desire to see. And one thing my friend did tell me, this is before I watched it, he said, "I've seen it, and I won't spoil anything because I want you to see it for yourself. But if you don't like Triple H, or you thought maybe he came across a little bit condescending or patronizing in season 1, you're probably not going to leave with a different opinion." I just wish that Road Dogg spoke like he was doing the "It's me, the D.O. double."
Yeah.
Now, can I just say 2 things about it before? I know we're a bit stuck for time, but one, I got a bit upset when I was watching the Becky Lynch thing and said this is going to be your final contract, and it just kind of dawned on me, like, Jesus, how many years do we have left? Does she have in the ring and all that?
I said to you the other day, I think on our WhatsApp group, you've been very concerned about the roster aging out and stuff like that, and stars stepping up and stuff like that and all. And I think Unreal has kind of cemented that thinking as well when you look at it. You know what I mean? I was very uncomfortable with the dressing down of LA Knight as well, and I spoke about it in our group as well. I'm not saying it was a mess up. I'm not saying it didn't go to plan. I'm not saying the discussion had to be had. But it doesn't feel right when a teacher's talking down to a guy who's 40 odd years of age. It just feels different. It just feels like, it feels
no
weird.
respect there. There's no respect there.
Yeah.
It's not even a no respect thing. It just feels weird that you think that that's the place to go to.
But you could see in his face as well, Niall, when he's sitting there.
He was well pissed off.
you know, you can see in LA Knight's face that he was not happy at all.
I think if you look at the situation, if you look at the dynamic between what he did and what Lyra did, Lyra's one didn't hit what it wanted to hit, and you could see how disappointed she was. I don't think he was pissed off at talking to H. I think he was disappointed at how things went, and he knew that it had gone wrong, that it didn't go right, and it wasn't that it was anything majorly complex or anything like that. For a guy who's in there and who's a senior guy in there, that should be like bread and butter to those guys, you know what I mean? And if you get that wrong, it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, like Pritchard with Abyss. It was a little bit uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And I felt, yeah, he's just cracking, you know. With LA Knight, it felt a little bit different because even though his career in WWE, compared to his age and all that kind of stuff, it just feels... It felt like it left him with nowhere to go, really. And it felt with us as fans like, you know, can we still take it credible if they start to push him towards a title and stuff like that and all? Because obviously the concern from the company is, you know, if you push him to the title like you do with Jey Uso, is it just going to collapse again and go, maybe it wasn't the right thing to do? And then they abandon it, you know. So
I loved Penta's background, though. I loved everything they did with that.
Yeah, and that's what I said. For every kind of thing that you have a gripe with on it, I think there's a lot of positivity in there as well. And the thing about it is, wrestling fans are going to watch it. It doesn't matter what they say. And any wrestling fan out there tells you, I didn't watch it. Like, you listen to Bischoff and all saying, I didn't have the time to watch it. He was glued to it the minute it released.
Absolutely.
I'm not believing that for a minute. And I think that's the case. I do love the background documentaries, and I do love the fact that we get to see the real human side of these people. But also for its faults, like you see the way Michael Hayes spoke about Chelsea Green, came across the wrong way. I got the idea of what he was saying and the point he was trying to make. I think the brashness of how he made it sound really bad, like she was a problem, where she's not a problem. She's fundamental to the business, especially in the women's division. And I just thought that was kind of weird with him. And maybe that's just because he's old school and he's a bit abrupt in the way he comes across and stuff like that. But
yeah, we got a comment on Facebook.
Big up, Greg. Everyone knew Jay was a bad shout. I don't think everyone knew Jay was a bad shout. I think the way in which it went down at Mania and stuff like that wasn't the best. But like, they were going to strap the rocket on him, and he kind of just got to the top of the mountain with the belt and looked over the edge and says, maybe this isn't for me. Where's my brother? Where's my dad? Where's my tag belt? Where's my company? Like, now I'm on my own here. All eyes are on me. But I don't think anyone predicted that fall off from Jey Uso was going to happen in the dramatic fashion that it did, where the rocket just exploded and he just died on his shield, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think that was the case. I think most people thought that Jey Uso was going to come on and they were going to shoot him to megastardom, and it just didn't happen. That's how I felt about it at the time anyway, and I'm a big Jey Uso fan. Right, let's take a little bit of history anyway. 2004, WWE's Royal Rumble took place from the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Chris Benoit entered the Royal Rumble match at number 1 and went on to eliminate the Big Show to win the match. Also on the card, Triple H retained the World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match against Shawn Michaels, and Brock Lesnar defended his WWE Championship against Hardcore Holly.
Well, I know you're not going to hear about that Rumble for obvious reasons, but it's a really, really good Rumble match. Seek it out.
Hardcore Holly should have won. Go on.
Oh, I should have. I know, it's great.
He did, didn't he? 2009, Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble match at the pay-per-view of the same name at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. 2015, the WWE Royal Rumble was held in the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble match by last eliminating Rusev. The victory was saluted by his cousin The Rock, who joined him in the ring afterwards. But fans both in the arena and watching at home reacted so badly to the result that the campaign to cancel the WWE Network briefly picked up significant steam.
Hashtag cancel the WWE Network, the musical.
Yeah. Although we take it back in a heartbeat now, wouldn't we?
The lads in Philly hate Reigns.
2004, after winning the Royal Rumble, of course, the previous night, SmackDown superstar Chris Benoit appeared on Raw and revealed his intention to challenge Triple H at WrestleMania 20 in what was an unbelievable match. Regardless of your views of everything else that happened and of the man and stuff like that, there is no denying that moment at WrestleMania 20 where he won the belt and was there with Eddie and the confetti coming down is an absolute moment in wrestling.
Incredible.
2014, Batista won the Royal Rumble. Marge Simpson with the pearly necklace at the pay-per-view of the same name from the Console Energy Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was Batista's first match in WWE since he left the company in 2010. He last eliminated Roman Reigns, who broke the record number of eliminations in a single Rumble match with 12 oustings. 2020, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view took place at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. The main event saw Drew McIntyre oust Roman Reigns to win the men's Royal Rumble match. The match also saw the return of Edge and MVP, but mainly Edge, for the first WWE matches since 2011 and 2010, respectively, as well as Brock Lesnar setting the most consecutive eliminations before being taken out by Drew McIntyre. We remember that elimination. It was amazing. Charlotte Flair was the winner of the Women's Rumble match.
I know people hated Brock eating everyone like one after the other, after the other, after the other. But man, that pop when Drew eliminated him was just beautiful. And it's such, I know we've got it now, but it's such a shame that the pandemic happened and put a hold on what could have been a beautiful moment, Drew winning. And I remember there's a meme going around when Joker had come out. There's a bit where like he's smiling at the TV in the hospital, and then you realize you're taking the piss out of his face. Goes like, there's a bit. I saw a meme when that Rumble happened where he's smiling at Drew winning the Rumble, but then the pissed off face when he sees Charlotte winning the Women's Rumble.
2018, the one that I was at, history was made at the Royal Rumble from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you've never experienced Philly fans at a sporting event not getting their way, it's amazing. Just saying. The event played host to the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. There was lads outside the stadium selling T-shirts, on the pats, the bootleg ones.
Yeah.
And there was fans coming out kicking these guys' T-shirts all around the car park. It was insane. This was Jericho levels. That's all I'll say.
Well, when the was in Philly, WWE played with feathers and they got their arse tickled.
Oh, that's silly. That was also the next night on Raw where John Cena absolutely turned the Philly crowd around who were booing him out of the building. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The event played host to the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, which was won by Asuka. Immediately afterwards, UFC legend Ronda Rousey came to the ring to make her WWE debut. I was halfway down the stairs when Ronda's music hit and came out. I had to run back up. Earlier in the night, Shinsuke Nakamura eliminated Roman Reigns to win the men's Royal Rumble as well. So that's your bit of history for the Go Home podcast for us for the Royal Rumble this year as well. Notable birthdays. Keith, you're not going to like this one bit.
What, Backlund?
Deep breath. Rip the plaster off. Who is it?
1980, Michelle McCool.
Not yet.
1953, the Honky Tonk Man, of course.
Right.
One of the greatest
The Honky Tonky Man.
Brand's not going to appreciate this. 1992, Sasha Banks.
Oh no! The one time we don't have Sean O, man, what a pity.
One that you TNA fans will be very happy with. 1986, one Taylor Wilde.
Right.
1960, of course, one of the greatest tag teams ever in my mind, Road Warrior Animal. And of course, one of the greatest announcers and interviewers, 1929, the great Gordon Soley.
Wow.
That rounds out your notable
That's
birthdays.
deadly.
Great lineup. No, obviously, we had a few stinkers for the Keith and Brian camp. Other than that, I thought that was really good.
Big up, Daz. I hope you're good. Yeah, well, see,
Bye, Daz. Bye, Daz.
I do them all the time. Hope you're good, pal. Greg again. How are we, Greg? That last man standing was unreal. It was absolutely, and the triple threat was phenomenal. It's so sad, so sad on so many levels. That was worse than Reigns win. There we go. And Daz back in. Who do you think the surprise are in the Rumble? Maybe Paige, maybe Jericho. Seth. Sounds like Seth might be returning by the sounds of things, just saying. I don't know. See, so it's so hard to predict it and stuff like that. And that's why we look forward to it so much. But listen, folks, another brilliant show. We've gone a little bit over time, not too much, but a little bit over time. Big thank you to everyone on the panel and Emma, of course, who had to go off. Not too sure, but hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check in Thursday Tier Talk with Darren. Might do a little thing for the Champions League tomorrow night. We will see. Then on Friday morning, we've got the Champions League draw, so we'll see can I rig up something to try and cover that. Bren is back on Saturday with the SmackDown show. We will be back on Friday with a SmackDown watch along, the Go Home SmackDown from Riyadh. And we'll also be back Saturday night for the Royal Rumble watch along as well, which we're all really looking forward to, I have to say. So if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. And we'll talk again real soon. Cheers, folks.